Hello there.
Shoot for the stars, aim for the moon. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, my fellow X-Files? We are back with our journey of season 4 of the X-Files. Today, we are up to episode 7. My name is Elie Moses, a 25-year-old law and film engineer from Sydney, Australia. Absolutely shooting a shot, and we have been watching this iconic series for the very first time. And like I said, today we are up to episode 7 of season 4, titled Musings of a Cigarette Smoking Man. Now this one sounds like a banger. This one does sound like a banger, and I apologize, I look like a mess for this reaction. The curls are out, the beanie has been tucked away, but yeah, I need a I look like Mulder, man, when he lets the stubble grow. I don't like this look. I need to get a haircut. But listen, who cares? We're here for the reaction. Listen, doesn't matter how we look, as long as you guys enjoy the reaction, as long as you guys enjoy the energy, the vibes, the breakdowns, the analysis, everything about the episode. We're here to get into it. We're gonna have some fun with this thing, and as always, baby, let's absolutely smash it. Let's go. Musings of a Cigarette Smoking Man. I wonder who this is about. Well, nothing can seem foul to those that win. Henry, bro, the fact we're starting with a quote tells me already this is gonna be a banger. For nothing can seem foul, those that win. Hey, you gotta have that winning mentality, man. And I apologize for detouring maybe the reaction a little bit here, but I'd just like to say something quickly. If you guys are fans of the football world, or just if you paid attention to the news, last night actually, you guys know I'm a massive Arsenal fan, and I follow the football a lot. Diego Jota and his brother sadly passed away in a tragic car accident, and it's like, God rest his soul. Like, I hope God welcomes both him and his brother with open arms into heaven, man, because it's absolutely tragic. My guy just got married 2 weeks ago to the love of his life, has 3 beautiful kids, won the Premier League, won the Nations League, and a couple weeks later he just passes away. Like, and he's only 28, and his brother, I believe, was 25 or 26. Like, so young, man. Like, life can be over in a blink of an eye. Like, we just must thank God for every day, man. Take every moment as it comes, because you never know when could be your last blink on this earth. Like, you never know when, this could be the last X-Files reaction I ever upload, and this could be the last video I ever upload on the channel, because you never know what's going to happen to you, like, in any moment. And you just gotta thank God for every day, thank God for all the blessings in life, and just take it as it comes, man, because yeah, that is absolutely tragic. And I hope his family receives all the support, God gives them strength through this time. And it's just amazing to see as well the football world unite, around what happened, and everyone give the love and support. And it's just gonna it's just making for some great moments of tribute and respect to Diego Jota. So yeah, I just thought I'd want to say it quickly in the reaction, because, like, read the news and it just hits you. It just hits you in a different way. And I was just like, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, nah, man, this ain't fair, man. My guy, like, you see the pictures of him getting married to the love of his life, like his childhood sweetheart, and it's just like, man, life is unfair. Like, God has plans for everyone, but then when you see that stuff, like, it's just like, oh man, yeah. Like I said, we just gotta thank God for every moment, and we just gotta stick by his plans. We gotta appreciate his plans for everyone, because he does have different plans for everyone. And like I said, him and his brother are in a better place now, and hopefully God has welcomed both of them with open arms into heaven, man. And they're looking down, smiling on us, despite how tragic it was. But yeah, I know to detour the reaction to a somber note, but I just thought I just had to say it, man. I just had to say it, because it's tragic. It's tragic. Henry the freaking fourth, act what? Oh, we're starting with the rats. Part 1, act 4, whatever it was. Oh, I wonder who that is. Take your guesses, ladies and gentlemen. Trust no one. Not gonna lie, that's gangster to have on the lighter. That is gangster to have that inscribed there. I mean,
You're shaking.
One at a time, boys. Now, what's going on?
Frohicke's close.
Don't use my name. What the hell's wrong with you? Now I'll have to kill you.
Langley and I performed
He's
three
everywhere,
sweeps with
everywhere.
CPM
You'll
700
kill me.
and did not detect a
And the
single
CPM
hot mic or
700 is a
infinity
piece
bug.
of crap.
The acoustic correlator is reading only passive
I've
sounds.
been here 20 minutes and I still don't know what the hell is wrong. No one would kill you, Frohickey. You're just a little puppy dog.
I don't utter another syllable until the CSM 25 countermeasure filter is activated. If you find the right starting point and follow it, not even secrets of the darkest of men are safe.
Cancer, man? What did you find?
Possibly everything. Maybe his background, who he is, and who he wants to
oh
be.
damn, he's spying on the lone gunman. Listening in on them. That's not good. Ooh.
The mother, a cigarette smoker, died of lung cancer before her son uttered his first word.
Runs in the family.
With no surviving family, he became a ward of the state, sent to various orphanages in the Midwest. Didn't make friends. Spent all his time reading, alone. And then,
Interesting, we're learning about the
he
smoke
appears to have
monster
vanished.
through the
About a year and a
narration
half
of the
after
lone
the
gunman
pandemic.
as the smoke monster's listening in on it. Is this the same place as we saw in Hypermaru and Apocrypha?
My 1-year-old just said his first word.
What was the word?
JFK.
Catch you later, Mulder.
Now we're going to start to see like the early formations of the Syndicate here and how they got involved.
Send him in.
Plucked right from the army.
You wish to see me, sir?
Have a seat, Captain.
This country should look to another form of government. And he took control of that belief. So, in that respect, we view him as an extraordinary man. And we believe, we know, Captain, that it runs in the family.
Like father, like son.
Understand, your father should have been executed. Communism is without a doubt the most heinous personification of evil mankind has ever confronted. And it is in part the reason that you are before us here today.
His assignment was the assassination of an American civilian aged 46, former naval PT boat commander. Married, father of 2.
Last week, Captain, this country was brought to the brink of nuclear annihilation.
Wait, are they
A
saying?
situation which never would have arisen had the individual in question as commander-in-chief.
Is there a cover story? Tell them it was done by men from outer space.
We've found and are setting up a patsy.
Are they telling him to assassinate JFK here? With like the situation surrounding the Cuban Missile Crisis? Is that it?
Where?
Or am I mixing up my history here? Damn, man. That is crazy. I mean, the X-Files doesn't shy away from the, you know, tackling real events or real case files anyway.
I'm reading studies that say they can kill you.
Ironic.
I'm going to the movies at the Texas Theater. It's only 90 cents. I love the movies.
That completely contradicts what he said at the beginning of the episode. If you've been paying attention, he said, I'd rather read the worst novel ever than sit through the worst novel ever than, you know, watch the best movie. That's a sniper, baby.
Colonel Roger Slack is from mail order back in March.
You did?
And so it begins. I wonder how they're going to shoot this here. If they're going to blend it in with like actual archival footage of the event. Lee staying on the 6th floor, man. So Lee's the patsy they're setting up, and obviously, I think the smoke monster's the one that's gonna actually take him out.
I was on the Stemmons Freeway earlier, and even the freeway was jam-packed with spectators waiting to see the president. The motorcade is heading down Elm Street now, passing the Texas School Book Depository. Well, it looks like all of the houses.
There's the signal. Damn, man.
You know this man? Yes, he works for me.
The President of the United States is dead. It is official now. President Kennedy is dead.
The smoke monster killed JFK.
No, sir. I won't be a patsy.
I wish to see some form of identification, sir.
No, easy there, partner. Just want to talk a minute.
If I don't see valid credentials, I'm going to assume you're with them.
Ma'am? What do you mean, partner?
Damn, he unloaded the whole.
How about a cigarette? Well, I've more guts than I've got. All I did was pick up the spoil. But he's really got it.
He thinks he'd see him at the movies, right? Or is he hiding at the movies?
He knocked out the bunker with one grenade. Now that's really something, huh? Yeah.
On your feet. Come on.
It's going to be all over.
The bitches!
He's right there in the back of the theater about to crack open a cigarette. Crack open a cigarette. Man, that's not the way I heard JFK went out. I heard Michael Fassbender, like, and Magneto, like, curved the bullet or some shit. Nah, that's actually interesting. This is actually a really good episode thus far. I've only heard Mulder and Scully through voices thus far. It's just been focusing on the cigarette smoke monster. Part 2, just down the road away from Graceland.
Seek to remove those conditions of poverty, insecurity, and injustice, which are the fertile soil in which the seed...
I love how it's tying all the events of history to everything that's going on in the background within the US government and the military and the Syndicate and, you know, the beginnings of that. And I feel like that was the first proper mission for the smoke monster before everything I feel like in Apocrypha and Piper Maru happened in terms of like those type of events. This is the first mission we are enlisting you in, and after that, that's it. You're wiped off the face of the earth and you're basically working in the shadows. And that was the first test, to take out JFK and to see if he can be the appropriate soldier and can be trusted. And it was cool to see the workings of that displayed this episode, because I love how the X-Files tackles so many, you know, I don't know if controversial events or like events in America's history. And it's interesting to see how it views those events or how it plays into the actual story of the X-Files. It's great stuff.
These are revolutionary times all over the globe.
And you can tell this episode thus far has been made with such care.
Out of the wounds of a frail world, new systems of justice.
Now we're getting the black and white color palette over Martin Luther King's speech.
I can cue.
I mean, he's just another pawn, but a very powerful one now. Very influential one.
This has driven many to feel that only Marxism has a revolutionary spirit. Therefore, communism is a judgment against our failure to make democracy real and follow through on the revolutions that we initiate. on the Hope Day, lies in our
Oh man, he heard that.
recapture the revolution.
He heard communism being dissed, and he's like, nah, I ain't rolling with that.
Last year, the House was not smiling on non-eye-to-eye surveillance.
So I stopped.
We called Ramsey
That J.
Clark
Edgar
to see
Hoover?
the go-ahead on
Or am I
tapping
wrong?
King's phone, but he refused.
After last night, it's not.
You actually sound sad about it.
I respect King. He's an extraordinary man. But now he's talking like a Maoist.
There we go. He's got to go.
And if he convinces Negroes not to fight in Vietnam, we'll lose. That dumb letter attempting to drive King into despair only alerted him to the level of our surveillance.
We could create a film of him with a woman other than his wife. Using existing footage, we could insert him in a film we make of a woman.
Back then is crazy.
White woman.
Photoshopping back then
The
is
solution
insane.
more intense than just dirty tricks.
If you'll excuse us, gentlemen, the director has a meeting at the White House.
Sit down. You have enough plausible deniability to last the rest of your 9 lives.
The SIG force can execute a wet insert operation. One day, he and his immediate circle are just found dead.
Too many questions. Americans believe the South is still fighting the Civil War. We find ourselves a cracker patsy, and the motives become very black and white.
I said before, you know, he was a pawn, but, you know, right here, you're realizing how much influence and say he's had over time, especially with this meeting and being present at this meeting. He's the one suggesting the ideas. He's the one planting the seeds. And he's the one denying all the other, or going against all the other tactics they are trying to deploy on how to take out Martin Luther King. And he's very strategic in his thinking here in terms of like, no, there's got to be other ways to do it.
Another patsy.
Should we advise the president?
I work very hard to keep any president from knowing I even exist.
Who will you order to do it?
I'll do it myself. I have too much respect for the man.
Damn, that's cold. Bro took out JFK and is about to take out MLK. Damn.
Trouble is in the land, confusion. But I know somehow that
Love the black and white choice as well.
see the stars. And I see God working
Love it,
in
love
the
it. This episode is so carefully crafted.
The masses of people are rising up. And wherever
I have more
they are,
respect. I don't know why. I feel like the younger Smoke Monster plays him well. But like the older guy, I can't stand.
Virginia, Accra, Ghana, New York City, Atlanta, Georgia, Jackson, Mississippi, or Memphis, Tennessee, the cry is always the same. We want to be free.
Crazy. Mulder's first words were JFK and the Smoke Monster, and that's assassinated him. That's insane. That's a violation.
Like anybody, I would like to live a long life.
Lots of overhead aerial shots this episode as well.
But I'm not concerned about that now. I've seen the promised land.
I love how it's layered in with the speeches here.
I want you to know tonight that we speak about anything of the spirit in a man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
There's the archival footage. Or photos. And bro killed JFK and MLK. That's insane.
Feel in my own heart, same kind of feeling. I had a member of my family killed, but he was killed by a white man.
So he kept the photo of Mulder's mother and Mulder. And we know he had a romantic relationship with Mulder's mother.
Pain which cannot forget falls drop by drop upon the heart until in our own despair against our will comes wisdom through the awful grace of God.
Most wonderful time of the year.
All right, gentlemen. Let's make this short and sweet so we can all go home for Christmas.
Since October.
Well, let it go. We played it right. Unfounded allegations will be flying around in no time. L.A.
The Rodney King trial's been moved to Simi Valley, just as you instructed.
Call back.
Internationally,
Wait, did I just see
Unfounded
Saddam
allegations will be
Hussein
flying
on
around
line
in no
2?
time. L.A.
The Rodney King trial's been moved to Simi Valley, just as you instructed.
Eddie, bro, my guy was in league with everyone.
Herzegovina is set for a February vote on independence from Yugoslavia.
America couldn't care less.
I'm working on next month's Oscar nominations. Any preference?
I couldn't care less. What I don't want to see is the Bills winning a Super Bowl.
Oh, that's cold.
As long as I'm alive, that doesn't happen.
That's cold, bro.
Buffalo wants it bad.
Hey,
So
Buffalo.
did the Soviets in '80.
Bro, you're seeing, I love this because you're seeing basically this guy has more say than the president. Like, this guy is like the company in Prison Break. That's it. They have the final say in what goes on in the entire country, no matter what deal, like no matter what the dealing is, no matter what bill passes in the Senate, no matter who wins the Oscars or has influence in winning the Oscars, no matter who you want to win the Super Bowl, everything's fabricated. There's inner workings behind everything. Nothing is left to on the day as it happens. No, nothing is left to fan votes. Nothing is left to how the teams play. There's something always going on in the background. And that's what the X-Files is trying to say, man. Imagine watching this at the time and you're a Buffalo fan. Holy moly. For as long as what has this guy got against the... Why you say fuck me for? Listen. Now, I wonder if what we're seeing here, these are the events of, this is the smoke monster reflecting on his life as he's listening in on Mulder, Scully being with the lone gunman. Now, listen, now we know the X-Files has, the X-Files has displayed great versatility across its 4 seasons thus far. And, in the episode, Jose Chung's From Outer Space, you know that the X-Files can mislead you. It can make fun of itself, but it has a tendency as well to, be unpredictable and mislead you at times. I wonder if this entire episode is from the POV, is from the perspective of the smoke monster himself. What if everything we are seeing here, is not entirely true? What if it's fabricated in a way because it's how he sees himself? It's how he reflects and, sees his life. He is the hero of his own story in a way. And listen, these are just misleading events here because he wants to have that power. He wants to have a final say in everything. And he's following in his father's footsteps. I think he's a real believer in communism, so is his father. That's why his father was a Soviet spy and he was killed. He was given the chair, and even when Martin Luther King was saying his speech, that point about democracy triggered him, and he's like, "Nah, I want to be the one to do it." That's why maybe these events are fabricated. Maybe he wishes he pulled the trigger on JFK. He pulled the trigger on Martin Luther King. Maybe he didn't really have this position of power. He does have a position of influence and power. But as we see in the Syndicate, he works in the shadows, but there are other individuals there as well. And he's been, obviously, we know this guy does mislead multiple individuals in the series. Remember in the episode Apocrypha, I believe, when Mulder and Scully rocked up to the bunker, he's like, "What bunker? What are you talking about? There is no bunker here. What are you talking about?" It's such an interesting episode. It's so well crafted. It's unbelievably well crafted. It's like everything going into this episode so meticulously thought. I don't know. It's so well done.
What are you saying? You rigged the Olympic hockey game?
What's the matter? Don't you believe in miracles?
The boss gave the Russian goaltender a little pre-game good luck pat on the back. Unseen Novocaine needle on a bogus wedding ring. Goalie's a little slow on the stick side. 4-3, home team.
Payback's a bitch, Ivan. Well, gentlemen, if that'll be all.
Bro created his own Mighty Duck story.
That spooky kid who talked his way into opening the X-Files.
Spooky Mulder.
Feels like trouble.
He's mine to keep an eye on.
He has a responsibility to Mulder, it feels like.
Gorbachev has just resigned.
This is not the Syndicate here. These are other individuals,
There's no more
right?
enemies.
And we know he has lung cancer because the bounty hunter told him.
Merry Christmas.
We're handing out presents.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, like, I don't know if this is the things the smoke monster would do. I'm not sure.
If you don't have any plans, sir, we're all getting together with our families out in Virginia. You're more than welcome to.
Oh, well, I have to see some family.
He's not the type to respond like that. I wonder if, because the actor's doing a fantastic job at portraying the smoke monster this episode, and I wonder if that's intended to mislead you, because that's not the normal response the smoke monster would have. He's usually more calculated in his responses. He doesn't stutter like that. I'm not sure. It's definitely the smoke monster episode, but is it his retelling of events? Like, is it how he sees himself in his own story? Bro just casually walked past the X-Files. Hey, it's a wonderful life. Because I wonder in this last sort of half of the episode, if the X-Files or like the writers are trying to make you feel sorry and side with the smoke monster, you know, that this guy is a lonely man who made that decision earlier on in his life, and because of that, he has no family, he has no one to care about, and behind the scenes, you know, he's taking care of Mulder, he's looking out for Mulder. I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's... I feel a bit conflicted. You know, it's the Christmas festive period as well. Everything's intentional in this episode. Because it's unnatural seeing the smoke monster in this light in this episode. Writing his own scripts as well. Because his demeanor, his facial expressions are a whole lot different than we're used to seeing. Like, he doesn't have that smug look about him in the second half.
Yeah.
You'll never believe what we just got for Christmas.
Ah, that's a Syndicate now. Cool to see Deep Throat back.
Craft matches the dimensions of the vehicle spotted over Hanoi when I was in Vietnam with the company that the Marines couldn't shoot down.
Occupant?
Critical.
Damn, what a Christmas present.
Our Aurora spy plane confirmed the Russians' track entry and a pinpointed touchdown.
Haven't you heard? There are no Russians anymore.
He resigned.
The KGB is not going to ignore an event of this magnitude, nor are the Chinese, nor the Germans, nor the British, or anyone who has the capability of discovering what happened here tonight. I'm certain each of them has operatives advancing on us right now.
EBE, baby.
How many historic events have only the two of us witnessed together? How often did we make or change?
Have you ever seen an alien in a coma?
And our names can never grace any pages of record.
And that's why he's
No
writing the
monument
scripts.
will ever bear our image.
So he has something to leave
Once
behind
again, tonight,
of his memory.
the course of human history will be set by two unknown men.
Everything's been decided and by men in the shadows.
A living EBE could advance Bill Mulder's project by decades.
Security Council Resolution 1013.
Yep, that's capturing such an
is
entity.
responsible for its immediate
EBE, baby. I remember. This boy pays attention. Even though we're going back to season 1 and 2.
You're the killer.
Your lies have killed more men in a day than I've never killed anybody.
Maybe I'm not the liar.
I have a chance to go an entire lifetime
without killing anybody or anything.
All of our work. See, like, who's lying here? Like, we saw him kill JFK, we saw him kill MLK, but maybe that's his retelling events. Maybe he wishes he was in that position to do that, so he made himself a part of history. Because the whole thing about this episode is you're operating in the shadows and no one will ever know what you did. Like,
past 30 years, all of our victories, if the world were to see this, it would destroy all we've gained in a few hours.
so what project was Mulder's father working on?
We have a new enemy.
So they kept the alien discoveries away from him, and that alien DNA and technology could have enhanced his research. Oh, we're doing the Two-Face? Flip a coin?
Go ahead. Make history.
Man, killing an alien in a coma, man. Taking a note out of last episode with the surgical procedures, man. It don't matter if even a human. It doesn't even matter if it's not a human. That's under. And these aliens crashed their vessel, went under, unconscious, just to be shot like this. See, this I can believe. Him lighting a cigarette while EBE takes out the while Deep Throat takes out the alien. That's the facial expression I'm used to seeing. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the whole thing is that this guy never gets his hands dirty. He operates in the shadows, right? But maybe he wished he did those other things.
That's why you were brought in.
Part 4, The X-Files. Einstein's Spin Paradox and Alright.
At that point,
Was that written by Dana Scully?
That's why you were brought in.
Why you were brought in. That's talking to Scully, right? Dana Scully, senior thesis. And maybe it was his decision to bring in Scully to help Mulder. The X-Files. He respects the two.
Agent Scully, thank you for coming on.
And if I've seen anything in the flashbacks, he respects.
Are you familiar with an agent named Fox Mulder?
He has a lot of respect for people.
Generally thought of as the best analyst in the violent crime section. He had a nickname at the academy.
Spooky!
Spooky Mulder.
What I'll also tell you is that Agent Mulder has developed a consuming devotion to an unassigned project outside the Bureau mainstream. Are you familiar with the so-called X-Files?
And flashbacks, bro.
Sorry, nobody down here but the FBI's most unwanted.
Agent Mulder. I'm Dana Scully. I've been assigned to work with you.
Damn, he was listening in on everything. There's a wire in the office.
So who did you take off to get stuck with this detail, Scully?
Actually, I'm looking forward to working with you. I've heard a lot about you.
Oh, really? I was under the impression that you were sent to spy on me.
That's cold, man.
David Thoreau wrote, "The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. His life has been anything.
Is he gonna take out one of the lone
Yet
gunmen?
I believe nothing but desperate. He's the most dangerous man alive. Not so much because he believes in his actions, but because he believes these actions are all which life allows him. And yet, the only person that can never escape him is himself."
Bro's script writing dreams came to life. Come on.
Walden Roth, please.
Is his book going to be published?
Oh,
Or his story?
Mr. Roth, hello. This is Roll Bloodworth, author of Second Chance, a Jack Colquitt adventure.
Yes, of course, Mr. Bloodworth. What an active...
Is it too much? Is my imagination too active?
No, I love it. Now, as I've expressed in the
It's crazy because that imagination is just experience.
many outstanding authors. We work with young writers, but I'll be honest, however, you'll have to relinquish some control.
Of course. Of course.
After all, it is our publication, and I can assure you we will handle it with the utmost respect.
Nah, this.
No. I'm sure you will. I'm just excited.
Understandable. Now, do you have an agent or attorney?
That's what I was about to say. I was like, with this man's influence and power, wouldn't he be able to get a top tier agent or attorney to have some, if they're able to rig all this stuff in US history, sporting events, Oscars, stuff like that, wouldn't he be able to wriggle his way through a publication and be able to, you know, publish his own book? Or he doesn't want to expose himself that way. He wants to do it like this under a different alias, because he doesn't want to be publishing these stories, you know, that are based off real events. I don't know. He doesn't want to expose himself that way, because, like, in a way, like, I'm relating to him in terms of, like, his script writing dreams here, or like his, you know, like he said at the beginning of the episode, you know, I'd rather read the worst book ever written than go to the movies. And it seems like he wants to write his own book and tell his own stories. But I don't know if this is a fabrication again, if this is from his point of view, as if the way he wanted his life to go, you know, if it wasn't for him getting into what he got into with the Syndicate and, you know, the shadows of the government. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like this episode is misleading you in a way. This is how he views himself, the hero of his own story, or this is what he wanted to do. Because he sounds so excited here. Like I said, these are the mannerisms, demeanors, responses, and tone of voice we're not used to the Smoke Monster having. And it's throwing me off. I'm a bit conflicted here, like I was saying. And that's why this episode is absolutely fantastic, man, because, yeah, it gets you feeling a certain way.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. Anything.
Surely a man...
When do you plan to publish the story?
Nah, surely a man working in his department, right? Yeah, resignation. I don't know. It's too good to be true. I feel like this is misleading us here. It's almost like a honeymoon ending for him. The book I've always wanted to write gets published. I retire into the sunset. I stop smoking. Look, he's smiling. Bright sunny day.
Excuse me, sir. You got this week's issue of Romana Clef?
I feel like it's... Yeah, he's going to be heartbroken here. It's probably been... The story's probably been ripped to shreds.
This isn't the ending that I wrote.
Exactly.
It's all wrong.
Look, if you're going to stand there and read it, I got to ask you to buy it. First, I don't know why anybody in their right mind want to buy that sort of crap.
See, this isn't the ending I wrote. It's all wrong.
That be it?
I can want this.
Immediately, the change of tone. Like I said, a man with his influence, way, and connections, surely he'd be able to get something in the press.
It's like a box of chocolates. Cheap, thoughtless, perfunctory gift that nobody ever asks for. Unreturnable because all you get back is another box of chocolates. So you're stuck with this undefinable whipped mint crap that you mindlessly wolf down and there's nothing else left to eat. Sure, once in a while there's a peanut butter cup or English toffee, but they're gone too fast and taste is fleeting. They end up with nothing but broken bits filled with hardened jelly and teeth-shattering nuts. If you're desperate enough to eat those, all you've got left is an empty box filled with useless brown paper wrappers.
Then we'll have him nailed.
I can kill you whenever I please.
Now that's power. That's power. He just wanted to feel something right there. No meeting with the lone gunman is safe.
Not today.
Woo! Now that's power. Like I said, that's power. Hey, this is one of the best X-Files episodes to date. And, you know, it doesn't feature Mulder and Scully. It does feature Mulder and Scully, but not as the primary, you know, detective duo we're used to seeing on screen, you know, solving a case or whatever. Obviously, this episode is from the perspective of the cigarette smoking man, the smoke monster, as I like to call him. Now, this episode was absolutely fantastic because I think it perfectly ties in to, you know, what was said in Humbug. You know, some mysteries are left best unsolved. And, you know, you have what he's listening to the lone gunman say about the cigarette smoking man to Mulder and Scully, but then you get to fill in those gaps as the smoke monster's listening and see his perspective or see him, you know, basically reminisce and, you know, his versions of the events of those stories or how he remembers them or if they're fabricated or how he would have liked to have, you know, how he would have liked to have remembered them. So I don't know if we should take everything in this episode as true or complete fact. You don't know, because I feel like the aura of the cigarette smoking man is meant to be mysterious. You don't know, you know, much about him, and I feel like it's meant to be that way. So I don't know if a lot of what happened in this episode is misleading. Like I said, maybe it's his perspective of events. It's how he wanted the story to go. He wanted to be the hero of his own story. He wanted to do those things. But no, he was just operating in the shadows. And maybe, you know, him having those script writing and storytelling dreams, it's portrayed, but it didn't necessarily happen. It all just ends in misery in the end. Like, it didn't necessarily happen. He had those dreams, but in the end of the day, he can't, you know, like I said, he doesn't get to express that because of the life he chose, and he undertook the oath he took from the moment he was in that office as the captain. And, you know, he was told basically, you are going to be wiped clean from the face of this earth forever. You will operate in the shadows, and no one will remember the impact you have or what decisions you had, what decisions you made that impacted the course of history. And it's absolutely insane to see. And it was good to see the actor that plays Deep Throat back. It was good to see the recallings of EBE happen this episode. And at the same time, technically, this episode was brilliant. And then at the end, you're reminded about, you know, how much power this guy has and how much control he has over everything that happens with Scully and Mulder, and why we get so frustrated throughout the entire series, especially with Mulder and Scully's near misses in terms of uncovering this government's conspiracy. These guys are too good. This guy has been calling the shot since JFK, Martin Luther King, and who else knows what else happened within the US government. So that's what Mulder and Scully are up against. And Mulder's got a bug in his own office. This guy's always... So, like, whenever you basically see the lone gunman now as well, whenever you see Mulder interacting with the lone gunman, you think to yourself, this guy's listening to them 24/7. He has no life. Like, he has the power to kill any of them at any moment, but he allows it to happen for some reason. Like, he allows it. It's like he almost... I don't know if he relishes the challenge of, like, Mulder and Scully getting close. I feel like it's a test for him as well. It's a test as to, you know, how secret they can keep things, and how bulletproof they can keep things from Mulder and Scully. Because I feel like they're there for the chase, and he loves that chase. He loves the game. He loves seeing, like I said, how foolproof he can keep everything. And if Mulder comes close to uncovering it, that means he's not doing a good enough job. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm right in saying that. But I feel like, yeah, at the end right there, that was cold. I can kill you at any moment, man. But, you know, you are helping Mulder and Scully. And, you know, I've already taken out a big dog in, you know, X. I already found my leak and took him out. But lucky, you know, X had the cover up, or not the cover up, but lucky, you know, X had enough breath left to, you know, direct him to Merida. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the story plays out after this, man, because you look at everything in a different light following this, in terms of, like, anything that's being said in Mulder and Scully's spooky office in the basement, he's listening in, or can, you know, basically, listen in at any moment, because it's always being recorded. If he missed something from this day, he can go back and listen to that. The same goes for the lone gunman, where he knows basically where they operate from and can has the technology to basically, despite their scramblers as well, listen in on everything they're saying. So yeah, it's quite interesting. That was a fantastic episode of the X-Files. Do I find myself, I don't know if I listen, like I said, I felt conflicted, and I feel like the show was misleading you to try and care for the smoke monster, because sometimes there are just pure evil characters for the sake of pure being evil, man. It's just evil exists in the world, and evil will always exist. And you're up against that, man. And obviously, maybe there's a little bit of, like I said, there's a little bit, oh, what's the word? There's a little bit of relatability with, you know, his script writing dreams, or trying to create something that others care about and others can, you know, resonate with. Like I said, with his script writing dreams, storytelling dreams, writing a book or writing a piece in a magazine. But I don't know, I feel like that was kind of misleading in terms of, like, that's what he would have wanted had it not been, you know, for the path he took. Because like I said, surely this guy sneak dissing the Buffalo Bills, making sure they never win a Super Bowl. Thank God he didn't say the Seattle Seahawks, because we won the chip. We won a chip. We could have won 2, but we won a chip. So, you know, no curse was placed upon the Seattle Seahawks, which is cool. But, like, you know, that level of influence, that level of power was displayed through the episode. And he even reiterated that at the end in terms of, like, taking out the lone gunman whenever he wants, as he pleases. And the same could go for Mulder and Scully. They're just pawns in this game. And X has warned Mulder multiple times about who you're dealing with. And this episode showcased that, definitely, in its full effect. That was a fantastic episode of the X-Files. I do hope you guys enjoyed my reaction and breakdown. I loved, you know, the combination. I loved the editing this episode. The layering of, you know, the MLK speeches, the JFK speeches with the events that were playing out, the black and white color palette change. Some of the cinematography was great. Yeah, and I loved it. This episode, in terms of its cinematography, I feel like was so carefully crafted. Like, some of the shots, a lot of slow pans, or a lot of, you know, slow camera movement. It was dialed down a bit. It wasn't, you know, fast-paced camera movement or anything as we're used to sometimes in the X-Files with some of the chase sequences and some of the investigations. Lots of slow, methodical camera work in this one, to tell the story of, you know, the musings of a cigarette smoking man. That was absolutely fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed the reactions. Be Elie Moses. Take care. God bless. Peace.